Contrary to popular belief, there were many Aztec philosophers, that is, indigenous philosophers from ancient Mexico, Mesoamerica. One of those native philosophers was King Cacamatzin, and his pivotal concern was on the way people solved their differences. Philosopher Cacamatzin was frustrated by the natural tendency of people in power to always resort to harsh or violent ways to resolve differences. So whenever he saw that same behavior amongst common everyday people, philosopher Cacamatzin recommended a very basic exercise that even today, in the 21st century, people are forgetting to do. Something so basic that it also baffled Cacamatzin as to why many people don't do it. And that is to just talk it over. I'm an anthropologist, artist, author, and direct descendant of the Aztec emperors and King Netzahualcoyotl. Come check out the ideas of indigenous Mesoamerican philosopher Cacamatzin. King Cacamatzin was the grandson of famous philosopher King Netzahualcoyotl. If you don't know about Netzahualcoyotl, he's a philosopher, a guy so famous who's got statues and paintings all over the place, really famous. Even in Spain, from all places, they have a statue of him. So this family was highly respected ever since. So the grandson of Netzahualcoyotl, Cacamatzin, was called like that, Cacamatzin, in Nahuatl language, because he physically looked exactly like his father, King Netzahualpili. That's the reason for his name. Anyway, even when his name may sound like Caca, his philosophy did not. As king of Texcoco, he was very much in the political scene, especially because Texcoco was one of the three capitals of the Aztec Empire. Yes, the Aztec Empire had three capitals: Texcoco, Tlacopan, and Mexico Tenochtitlan. But he was fed up about the way rulers and the elite conducted business with other nations and vice versa. He disapproved of the manner in which all disagreements between nation states always ended up with some form of harsh, violent manner. But moreover, Cacamatzin didn't like that people, normal people, everyday people, used such ways of solving their everyday issues. And we've all had everyday issues between ourselves. Couples have issues. Families have issues. Neighbors, co-workers, at school. Even strangers have issues with other strangers at the bus, at the parking lot, at the subway, at the store. The list is endless. This happens all the time. This has been happening, like Cacamatzin tells us, and this will undoubtedly keep happening. This cannot be avoided, says Cacamatzin. But the way it can be resolved, that can be different. Instead of a chimp-like all-out outburst. And we're not chimps, are we? Philosopher Cacamatzin, king of Texcoco and one of the three rulers of the Aztec Empire, said that we people should behave like that, like people, not like animals. What makes us different than animals is the ability to talk. Since animals can't talk, they have no other way of resolving their issues other than fighting, screeching, biting, stinging, hitting, stomping. But we humans do talk. And King Cacamatzin said we should always act as who we are, because we should act as human beings and talk. Because only talking it out, solving issues in a non-violent way, is the human way, according to Cacamatzin. If we do not talk to sort out our differences, then we're animals. And even then, animals behave better than humans in many cases. Animals protect their beloved from the dangers of the world. But nowadays, we humans bring the dangers of the world to our beloved, to our children, to our brethren. Birds make a nest for their chicks, up, way up. from the predators and violence going on down here. We would think humans are better than that, but sometimes we are worse. Was Cacamatzin mistaken in his assessment that humans should not behave like animals in this case? Cacamatzin was surely referring to the way of solving our issues. Birds can't talk, even if they sing beautifully. And birds will never be able to express complex ideas. Cacamatzin is talking about this, about how our greatest asset, our greatest tool as humans, is communication. If we can't communicate, if we can't even use our greatest tool to solve our issues, then we're left with nothing. Nothing. Because at least birds are empathetic. At least lions are great predators. But if we don't use the one thing that sets us apart from animals, then we would be effectively worse than animals. Because at least they use their main ability to survive, and we're not. And perhaps that's why humans may not survive if we keep being violent with each other for menial things, for small things. Because humans are not gloriously dying as warriors in faraway battlefields. It's far more dangerous going to school in America or a New Year's Eve party in Germany. And by going about and being violent instead of talking as human beings, it's what's bringing about an implosion to our society. So according to philosopher Cacamatzin, don't be prone to violence like the rulers of our nations. The fact that Putin, Biden, and Zelensky can't resolve their issues by talking, which in principle makes them, the three of them, wrong, doesn't mean we everyday people should do the same as them. Or what? Are you gonna go nuclear in your neighbor? Or are you gonna throw some sanctions to your wife? Of course I'm overstating in this case for the sake of argument. Cacamatzin also says we should use our greatest asset that makes us human, talking. Cacamatzin says we are not beasts. We are human beings, and as such, says Cacamatzin, act like one. And resolve your issues by talking, not by insulting. Take heed of what philosopher Cacamatzin says and prove that you are a human being.